Here's a simple demonstration on how to attach a cord or a dimmer switch to FlexWatt heat tape or heat mat. It can be called both. FlexWatt comes in several different sizes. You can see here a 3-inch strip. Here's a 4-inch strip. There's also 11-inch strips and 17-inch strips. And that measurement designates the width of the heat mat itself. For demonstration purposes today, I'm going to use this 4-inch piece. We're going to attach a dimmer switch to it, and you can see how that's done. First of all, I'm going to prepare the dimmer switch itself. The dimmer switch has 2 bare ends. You'll need to pull apart these ends with enough length so that it can then bend around like this to the heat mat itself. The next thing you'll do after you have pulled the 2 wires apart is take the tape, the specialized insulating tape that comes with this little kit, and insert it into, use the little hole, the small hole that's in there, and push the wire through that hole. Now it's very important that the side that has the paper is facing outside. That's the side that's going to attach to the heat mat. And so just like that, do the same thing with the other one. Again, making sure the paper side is out. Push it in like that. It will be a very tight fit. You may even have to deform the tape a little bit to push it through. You want that tight so it gets a good seal. Once you have that in place, you can then attach the metal crimpers that come. Place it over like this. Take a pair of crimpers or pliers, or even tap it with a hammer like this. Crimp it into place, and that simply, it's attached, and that side is now ready. Do the same thing on the other side. Crimp that into place. This is now ready to be put onto the heat mat. I'm going to take a brick. You can use any hard surface, even wood or concrete or anything like that, that you're going to use to pound this into place. On the back side of your heat mat, there are 2 flat wire strips. That's metal, which is going to allow the electricity to flow through the entire length of the heat strip. You're going to place this crimp over that metal piece, press it down with your hand, and then take a hammer or some blunt object and very carefully tap that so that it crimps through the plastic. Being very careful that you don't hit the FlexWatt, because it will damage the FlexWatt if you hit it with a hammer or anything hard like that. Repeat the same thing on the other side, like this. Press it down with your fingers first to hold it into place, then tap it with a hammer, making sure those crimps on the inside pierce the plastic and into the metal. Just like that. At this point, you're ready to remove the paper backing from the insulating tape, making sure that all of it comes off. Slide it down. Just like so. Place it onto the heat mat there. Wrap it over like that. Be very careful here that you press firmly all around the edge of that metal piece. You want a very good electrical insulation. And once you've done that, that piece is now insulated. Repeat the same thing on the other side. Pressing very firmly all around the outside of that metal piece to make sure you have a very good insulation. And just like that, the dimmer switch is now attached. Now the dimmer will allow you to turn the power up and down, which will have a direct impact on how warm this flex watt gets. This is not a thermostat, it's just a dimmer, much like a light dimmer that will regulate how bright a light is. This will regulate how much power the heat mat gets. You'll need to use a thermometer to see how the temperature is doing in your environment, and then adjust the temperature up and down based on that. The final step here before testing is to take this other end that has essentially two bare wires, because where this has been cut, those ends, if those were to be touched when this is plugged in, that could shock somebody. So we're going to take the other pieces that come with the kit, and we are going to use those to insulate those two ends. Pressing it firmly into place, just like that. Repeat with the other side. And this entire piece is now electrically insulated, ready to plug in and be tested. FlexWatt is designed to dissipate heat very, very rapidly. And so when it's laid out just like this, you plug it in and feel it, you may not feel it get very warm at all. You may not feel much difference over room temperature. A very simple way to test it would be to roll the heat mat up. Only roll it and plug it in during testing. You should never roll it up or leave any part of it rolled, plug it in and walk away. Because now that this is rolled up like this, it will concentrate the heat. With the heat concentrated, you'll be able to tell very quickly, within just a few seconds, if it's working. Plug it in, turn the dimmer to full power, and just hold it for a few seconds. 5 or 10 seconds, you should feel this getting quite warm. If you left it like this, the heat cannot dissipate well, and this can get warm enough to destroy itself, cause a fire, cause all kinds of damage. Don't do that. Another way to test it would be to place it on a hard surface. Place something with a lot of mass over it. Plug it in, come back in an hour, feel underneath it, and it's going to feel warm.